What's up, Shadow? Back again. Someone said something about I own something, or you can own land. No, you can't. Ownership is a human derivative. It's something that humans came up with. It's a concept that only humans possess. Um, in nature, ownership does not exist at all. It's not a concept. Um, you have to pardon me. I think more like an animal than most people do. Um, the tribal mentality, which we all have as a social being, derives from us as a group back when we were pagans throwing spears at buffaloes and bison. Yes, paganism was the original religion, by the way. um, the true Native Americans back in the day did not ever say we owned the land. They said it was here for us. They let us use it, talking about the gods, allowed them to be on it. A lot of people are fools, morons, and they're caught up in modern concepts that do not function properly. The concept of ownership and dominion is a flawed concept. It's a derivative of dictators and rulers and kings and queens. I do not own my firearm. All right? Even though I purchased it. Money is a human concept. It is a human creation. The barter system is a human concept, a human creation. Some animals and primates use something similar to a barter system. Yet, this said, the only thing an animal perceives as its own, which is not ownership, it's simply because that's where it resides at the moment, is its territory. Humans are naturally territorial creatures. However, we possess no ownership of anything. This fallacy that you can pay someone a coin, jewel, or money to possess goods is a flawed mindset. That's part of what's gotten our world what it's in right now, with all the rioting, the looting, the pillaging, and the murders and the rapes and the racism and the prejudice and just sheer ignorance. Is concepts like this that are designed only for the upper class to truly know about. Perfect example. You get stopped for a speeding ticket, all right? Uh, you believe you own that vehicle. You believe you own your driver's license. You believe you own your body. Yet, if you resist that officer, whether they be doing their job correctly or incorrectly, I am all about never going along with anyone or any system that is incorrectly run. Period. If you show up and do something incorrect, I'm not going to work with you. I'm not. You should know what you're doing. That aside, that's a personal integrity thing that I hold high. I guarantee you, not only are they going to take your car until you pay them money for what is yours, they are also going to do their best to take your person. The only thing you have any mild form of ownership over in this world, and people can argue with me all day long, it's not going to change the facts, is your personal being. You do not own the clothes on your body. You do not own anything but your mind, body, and soul. This is a reality check for people. You want to get all butthurt because someone, walked on your land. Okay, it's not your land. It was here before you were born. By definition, you cannot own something that predates you. If, under any circumstances, it owns you. I mean, according to nature. What was here first is what, takes precedence over what comes until it's gone. I dare you to go to the woods because you bought some land and try and tell a wolf or a mountain lion or a bear, this is my land and I own it. What do? You kill it because you're an ignorant fuck who doesn't understand the laws of nature. You think that we're the apex predator and the top of the food chain. I've got news for you people, and I don't know how hard it is for you people to understand this. Any middle school graduate can tell you, here's great white sharks and crocodiles, all right? here's the lowest of the low, the one-celled amoeba organisms. We're right about here on the food chain, right next to birds and snakes. We are nowhere near the top of the food chain. We have no right at all, evolutionarily speaking, spiritually speaking, or logically speaking, saying what we do and do not own. We have no right whatsoever to tell others how to live their lives. None. Because the vast majority of humans cannot even keep their shit together for a month, let alone long enough to teach someone else. If, it goes back to practice what you preach. Anyone who knows me knows I'll get butthurt for a couple of minutes if something like my laptop or my phone or my gun or my car's damaged or stolen, and then I get over it. You know why? Because it wasn't meant to be in that shape or in my custody for that long. I have had 4 bicycles stolen from me. All right? And 3 of those were attached to hardened titanium chains. They were hardened steel coated in titanium. So, yeah, I get mad for a couple hours and then I let it go. Because you know what? The universe didn't plan on me having it. I didn't need it anymore. This is a logical way to look at things. Anything that's in your life right now is not yours. Not your husband, not your wife, not your children, not your car, not your gun, nothing. Not the ground you walk on. I don't care if you bought it. That does not make it yours. That means some ignorant human had the audacity to say that I'm going to sell this. It was there before they were ever born. You cannot purchase land that was there before you. Period. End of story. All right? This is philosophy. This is ethics. This is integrity. This is, the law of nature. All evolution aside. If you look at how a lion's pride works, all right, there are multiple females and 1 alpha male and 1 or 2 alpha females, depending on how the structure is set up. Now, it works perfectly. The hierarchy of the system is understood. Nowhere do they come up with things like democracy or, ruler etiquette. Everyone knows their place. If you look back to the pagan tribes, and I'm talking about in Americas, I'm talking about in Europe, I'm talking about everywhere in the world, which we come from 4 tribes, and all 4 of these tribes were pagan. All of them. Now, the difference in animals and pagans, there's not a huge difference. Animals don't go and start fights with others for no damn reason. Only when they feel threatened or that their ability to procreate is endangered. Pagans did not. There were no pagans in history that ever went out seeking war. They never went out seeking slaughter or mayhem. Your Abrahamic religions came along and created these mindsets within people, by the way. Now, pagans lived in a group. There was anywhere from 4 to, 9 or 10 female elders who called the shots. They were the big ballers. They ran the shit. Now, the women's jobs were to stay at home, cook, clean, raise kids, and do all the important things in life, the things that fucking matter. Men were considered to be violent, dangerous, uncontrollable. They were considered to be just 1 step above animals. Their job was to kill animals, hunt, and pick food. They weren't allowed to live in the villages. And I'm not talking about Indians and Native Americans. I'm talking about the pagans that predated them. I'm talking about the Druids and the Ossotrues and the Germanic ones. Men were considered to be vile and dangerous, uncontrollable animals. Think about having a rabid hyena. Well, it's useful to keep someone away from you, but you're not going to put it in the bed with you. And therein you have your simple mindset that worked for thousands of years. No one said that they owned the land. No one said that they owned their children. There was no need for birth certificates or social security numbers. There was no need for identification because people stayed within their groups. They didn't create trouble outside of their groups. The only time any trouble occurred, and this is anthropologically proven. So you can argue all day. This is the truth. The only time there were trouble within tribal and pagan mindsets is when someone strayed too far off the path. And generally, they didn't war with each other. They took what they needed, and if the other people fought, they killed them. But generally, it was a live and let live situation. All right? The Vikings did not always kill when they came on shore. Generally, they went to take what they wanted and what they needed for their families and left. Very rarely, if no one resisted, did they rape, kill, loot, plunder, or pillage. Only when people put up a resistance did they do these things. And they did them really, really well. Far better than any soldiers we've created today. This is my point, is you people think you own something when that's ignorance. That's like assuming because someone's black or white or Spanish or Asian that they have a certain, intellectual level. That's pure ignorance. You're basing it off of what someone said or what you saw once. The systems we've chosen to adhere to create ownership and debt and what you owe someone. These things don't exist. In the universe, they're not a real thing. They never have been until, our people came along and fucked shit up. I'm talking about our people, I'm talking about modern human. If we'd left it alone, things would have been fine. We wouldn't have been in this state of affairs with our countries going to crap, having to riot because they refused to allow us to peacefully protest. So now we have to riot and burn SWAT team members alive because they won't allow us to sit there and, we shall not be moved. And my mom walked with Martin Luther King. If people were dumb enough to think that protesting works, let me tell you something. Anytime something works, they refuse to let you do it. They won't allow you to just take land. If they find out you're living on land for free, they're going to try and take you. They're going to try and take your kids. They're going to try and take everything that you've, worked for, because it frightens them. People are afraid of change. They're terrified of what shakes their version of reality. The truth is, the system does not want anything for you that they can't get a large chunk out of. And this is every government around the world. I've been around the world twice in the Army. Trust me when I say every system wants a piece of your pie and my pie. And if you go off and make your own pie and share it with your friends and family, the system gets extremely livid about that shit, because they don't have more than enough already. They want so much that they're that deadly sin, gluttony, which is not a Christian creation. That sin came all the way back from paganism. But let's not argue semantics and more anthropological facts, because hey, who cares about the truth? Let's go with what's convenient at the moment. So stop bitching about what's yours and what's mine and, who needs to stay where. Let's worry more about this brotherhood of man crap that everyone's fucking forgotten about. The fact that we're all related genetically, whether we're black, white, yellow, red, short, tall, fat, skinny, Muslim, Christian, pagan, we are all related on a cellular, molecular, and genetic level. We are all brothers and sisters. So all this bullshit, hatred, and drama, all this he said, she said crap, and gimme, 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 and take, it's got to stop. And sooner or later, it's going to stop anyhow, because I'm telling you, the way the government's going, they're going to force you to do what they want you to do. Hitler did it. Kim Jong-un does it every fucking day of his life, and so did his father and the guy before him, and so on and so forth. We're headed to a purely communist country where you have no choice of where to fart or when to blow your nose. God forbid you throw away a newspaper that has your almighty leader's face on it, because you'll be locked up in a political prison for the remainder of your days, and no one will know where you went, and no one's going to come look for you because everyone's terrified. There was a perfect set of video games that explained where this is going. And I know people scoff at video games and Hollywood, but what you're not understanding about video games and Hollywood is they're just like science fiction novels. Remember Fahrenheit 451? That's coming to be already. And that book was, God, it's older than I am. These games, Watch Dogs, this game, Homefront and Homefront Resistance, they're just like Hollywood. they're trying to warn you and tell you, hey, pay the fuck attention, get ready. And you're like, oh, that's a cute little game. There's nothing realistic about it. No, that's where we're headed. This is what's happening in other countries already as we speak, long before these games were made. You ever remember this thing you may have heard once upon a time? Fact is far stranger than fiction. So think about a video game where you use your cell phone to hack lights and computers and laptops. That's possible. If the government can blow the battery up in your cell phone or laptop to keep you from using it, we already know hackers can get into anything with a microchip. I mean, they can hack a flashlight from across the room. They can get into your car if it's one of these stupid little push button thingies, and they can drive off with it. They can shut down your GPS from another car, and you'll just idle right there. These are not even government people. These are simple hackers. Black hat hackers, most of them. They're bad guys. Alright? You think that a game where small pockets of people are fighting a dictatorish regime is fiction? That's called the Revolutionary War in America. That's called the Revolutionary Army in France. That's called the Irish Republican Army in Ireland. That's some of these militia groups in Africa, some of the good ones. That's some of these resistance groups who are fighting ISIS over in the Middle East. That's some of the groups here in America. It's called guerrilla warfare. It's the only way you can beat, 100,000 strong army. Small groups of people fighting back when they can, where they can. You think it's just a game, dude? Your lives are on the line. Stop worrying about ownership and clearing your debt and how much money's in your account. Start worrying about the fact your family is not going to be able to feed themselves in 15 years. It's going down. And you keep focusing on stupid shit like your favorite sports team and how many zeros are in your account or how your hair and nails look or how your fit and sneakers look. I got news for you. There's a camp for you coming real quick. And the only difference in you and me is that I know what's happening and I'm ready. I'm ready to teach anyone and everyone just in case it gets that bad. And I hope it doesn't. I hope that, I end up being one of these people that everyone's like, oh, well, he was just on his soapbox. But go ahead and keep preaching about God. Go ahead and keep bitching about Allah. Go ahead and keep talking about what a great pagan or Wiccan you are. Keep fucking measuring your dick against the rest of the world thinking that it fucking matters. That's what they want you to do anyhow. They want division. They want you to worry about me being white and whatever color you are. They want you to focus on that. They want you to focus on me being a blue collar or a white collar worker and you being somebody else. That's what they want you to pay attention to. They want you to argue about me being a Braves fan or a Georgia Bulldogs fan or a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. That's how they win, and they're winning every day. And a lot of you fucking idiots out there are helping them. Get your shit right. Get your heads together. Get your hearts together. Get your souls and spirits together, people. Because if we can't come together as a group, as a family on this earth, the vast majority of us are fucked. As a species. Peace out. God bless. And I hope this helped. Like, subscribe, do whatever you want. Take it easy. Have a good day. Be safe.